5 things that I did last week? Yeah, I got you on that. I can show you 5 things I did last week. Even though I didn't get an official email and I don't work for the government, I definitely want to stay out in front of this thing and make sure that y'all know that I'm over here working. So here we go. My name is Tony. This is Run the Comps. Welcome back to Run the Comps, the channel that values up your real estate game. My name is Tony. I've been a licensed agent and an investor and a property analyst for well over 20 years. And today I'm going to show you some of those crazy things that I've seen. I mean, just in the last week, I'm going to list out 5 things I did last week, just so that y'all know that I'm staying busy and I'm working over here. Let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, I want to make it look like I'm working, right? Okay, so here we go. All right. Now, best way to get a quick look at what I did last week is check out the metrics. Let's start first with the underwriting metrics. If we could get a snapshot up on the screen here, great, thanks. So you can see that I did 8 underwritings last week. That's a full property inspection review. And let me tell you folks, this is not easy. I have to open up multiple tabs and I have to compile data scattered everywhere and put it all in one place and try and figure out if this property is any good, if the risk is any good. It takes about 2 hours to get through one of these full property inspection underwriting reviews. My checklist of things that I need in order to get this done looks something like this. I need inspection reports. I need property photos or videos or both. I need calculators. I need pricing sheets for all the repairs that need to be done. I need maps. I need chat. So I have to use all of these tools just to get one property inspection underwriting review completed. And it takes about 2 hours, and you can see I did about 8 of those this week, so there's 16 hours of my week right there. Next, let's move on to the offers metric. So if we get that report up on the screen here, you can see that I did 67 offers last week. And each one of these offers generally takes about 15 minutes or so. On a good day, I could probably do about 4 per hour. So when you consider how many offers I did during the week here, that's about another 16 hours of my work week. To complete one of these offer tasks and get a cash offer out to a customer quickly, we have to dive into a whole bunch of information that we have available about the property itself. Information that we get from public sources online, information that was submitted to us directly, and this is the part of the process where we get our valuation tool out and we run the comps, y'all. This is what we do all day, every day. Once we've selected a few comps that show similar characteristics as the subject property, we then move on to the next part of the process, which is applying our proprietary magical formula in order to come up with a cash offer. And that's how we do it, folks. Then the cash offer goes out. So there you have it. There's 2 repetitive tasks right there that takes up what we figured about 32 hours of my week. You must be thinking, okay, well, what do you do the rest of the time? That still leaves you with 1 extra day if you're working a 40-hour week. You're right. And so let's talk about how I fill in the rest of my time during the week. Here's 3 specific exception cases that I'm going to share with you. And these are the high-touch customers. I'm trying to help other folks within the organization get these deals to the closing table, to the finish line. Now, exception case number 1 is a property that I made an offer on, a property in Georgia. It's a big property built in 1995. And when this one came across my desk, there were some photos in the photo gallery that gave me some indication of cosmetic updates that needed to be done. And so during the course of the valuation, I have to make certain determinations on the sort of repairs that might be needed in order to make this property more marketable for us after we buy it. And naturally, those sort of things get figured into the valuation and the cash offer that goes out to the customer. Then the sales team kicks it back to me and says, hey, can't we do any better on this one? And so I have to spend my time reviewing it again so that I can provide specific information back to them, feedback, so that they could go back to the customer and tell them why this is why our offer is what it is. So during my second review of this property, I had to compile some notes with specific details and feedback along with some photos of the property so that I could show them what I was seeing. And I went back and I said, hey folks, this is a large home. It's got 3 HVAC systems. The house was built in 1995. You've got 90s wallpaper everywhere. Some of the rooms have bold color paint. You have a swimming pool in the backyard that's covered up and we don't really know anything about it. There's floor covering missing in one room and that drop ceiling in the basement is wonky. I mean, what's up with that? Folks, all of these things are things that can affect a cash offer and the valuation and marketability of your home. The bottom line is, if you have a property that looks like this and you come back and you're asking for top dollar in the market, well, the chances are we're just going to say, no, can't do that. The second exception case that I have for you today was a property in Texas that I started doing the underwriting on it and then suddenly discovered some previously undisclosed information. When I started digging into this full property inspection review, it didn't take me long to discover that there was an above ground pool in the backyard. And I went back through some of the previous notes when we made the offer, and apparently nobody ever told us that there was an above ground pool in the backyard. And so here's some of my communication to the other teammates to ask them, hey, did anybody know about this? What do you want to do about it? Normally, if it's just an above ground pool, we want to get rid of it because it's really not a selling point. But this one, it has an attached deck, and man, it's just, what do you do with something like this? Well, after about 2.5 days of back and forth with people on the team, we came to the only logical conclusion that we could for this property, and here's what happened. Finally, the third exception case involves a property we were buying, a 1950s vintage property with a cast iron sewer system. And so we really needed to know what was going on in that cast iron sewer, because if it's going to have to be repaired or replaced, we want to know about it before we buy the property, right? So our inspector went out on inspection day and couldn't quite get the sewer line inspection completed because he was unable to navigate his camera through the entire system. And this happens once in a while, and when it does, we typically have to call a licensed plumber out to get the sewer line scoped. And so after a lot of back and forth and overcoming the objections of these reluctant sellers, we were finally able to get a licensed plumber out to the property to inspect the sewer lines. The plumber gets there and he dips his camera into the clean out and proceeds to move his camera down through the sewer line. And then he's trying to get through and trying to get through. And then you can see as he's coming up here at about 8 feet, he starts to run into a little bit of trouble and can't quite get that camera going. And so the plumber struggles and struggles, and he finally gets his camera down the line there, and he comes back with a report and a video to us, and he says, hey, this sewer line is junk, and I have an estimate prepared for you if you want to get it fixed. And so we said, yeah, sure, what's your proposal? And so he gave us the proposal, and we did the only logical thing we could do. We went with his recommendation, and here's what happened. And so with that comes to the end of another week and another day. You can see I work every day until the sun goes down. It keeps me really busy. These are some of the things that I do. Now, please give me a like, a subscribe. I sure would appreciate it. We love to hear from you in the comments below. So hit us up. Until next time, I'm Tony. This is Run the Comps. I'm out.